Hello and welcome back to another video where today I will be going over everything we know so far about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So for those of you who aren't aware, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is an upcoming game that comes out on October 26th on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, PC, and a cloud version will be available on the Nintendo Switch. Now, myself personally, I am a bit conflicted when it comes to cloud versions on the Switch. In one way it's good because, say, if you only own a Switch and you want to play a new game like Guardians, for example, then obviously you get to play it. But the bad side is that you have to have a very good internet connection. And I know some people don't have the best internet connections to run the games well enough. Like, I played the demo of Hitman 3 on the Switch, and I don't have the fastest internet in the world, and it was fairly choppy. I mean, it's definitely playable, but it's also quite choppy, because those of you who don't know how it works, is pretty much you're being streamed to the game, but it's being run on a different system entirely. So there's going to be button delays, like when you shoot, and I think with a game that's quite fast-paced like Guardians, a cloud version maybe isn't the best, and it's like fully optimized to run on a Switch. So the game is single player only, and it is a third person shooter RPG, and the game is being developed by Eidos Montreal and published by Square Enix. These are the people responsible for Marvel's Avengers that released last year, I believe. So I think most people are looking at this game thinking, if this game is bad, then maybe they won't trust Square Enix or Eidos to make any more games, or at least not any more superhero games, because previously they made the recent Tomb Raider games, which I'm a big fan of, and I will say the first two Tomb Raider games are really good, and then they see the reboot saga, and then the third one is a bit iffy, and that's because it wasn't fully made by Crystal, it was made by Eidos Montreal. So that is a bit I'm kind of like a bit wary on. I did play Marvel's Avengers and I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be fair, but hopefully Guardians can win me over, as from what we've seen of the gameplay it actually looks quite fun and interesting. Moving on to the gameplay, in the game you only play as Star-Lord, but in combat you can press a button and it comes up with like a wheel where you can press a different face button and you can use an attack with one of the Guardians. So say you press B or circle or whatever it is on PC and you choose Gamora, and then Gamora can use one of her attacks to aid the Guardians while in combat. If you want, you can just use Star-Lord, as he has dual pistols and jetpack boots, but the jetpack boots don't, at the start of the game, they don't have a lot of battery, is that what it's called, where you can't do it for a long time, and that's when the upgrade system comes in, as while you're exploring you can pick up certain things and gain like some currency, that when you go back to your ship there is a workbench that you can interact with, and Rocket will actually upgrade your abilities for you, but not just for Star-Lord, he can upgrade abilities for every one of the Guardians, as each Guardian has a separate kind of like XP meter. Some of the upgrades you can get will, like I mentioned earlier, upgrade the duration that Star-Lord can use his jetpack boots, can also, say, upgrade the attack damage and all the different Guardians, and it can also unlock new abilities entirely. Star-Lord's guns aren't only just fire like laser bullets, they also have elemental bullets. In the recent gameplay stuff that all the media outlets showed us, they only had the ice bullets, but I'm gonna assume as the game goes on you can get fire bullets, wind bullets, stuff like that. These elemental bullets will most likely be very good against maybe bosses or certain enemies, like as we saw in a recent gameplay segment, you can say freeze an enemy and then get Drax to run and jump on them, and that kills them instantly. Another thing that was mentioned in the recent gameplay segment was something called a huddle up ability, and this ability allows you to Obviously huddle up with all your teammates, but also revives fallen teammates, and Quill will kind of ask the Guardians how they're feeling about the battle, and then you can give a response. So say the Guardians are saying, I feel like this battle isn't going well, you can motivate them by saying, when we're together we can do anything, and then they will get like a boost of energy and power, and they kind of like boost up your attack damage, stuff like that. So it's kind of like their special ability. But combat isn't all you do in the game, you can also explore the certain settings, and while you're exploring there are different story paths you can take. An example is, say you find a helmet of a celestial or like a soldier helmet, Quill can put it on and you have an option to either say something or don't say something. If you say something it may like alert guards to your location, but if you don't then obviously it doesn't alert the guards, and then maybe find a way of sneaking around them later. I'm guessing there'll be more like story altering choices in the game, at least that's what I hope, as the guys making this are also the makers of the Deus Ex games. I hope there will be some good story choices that we can do. I doubt it will be on the same level as say a Telltale game, but maybe some sort of variation would be nice, which will entice us to do a second or third playthrough. While exploring you can also come across some puzzles. Some puzzles may be used to actually progress further in the story, but most of them I believe will lead to items and collectibles, so I believe you can find different pieces of cosmetic stuff, so you can like maybe change what jacket Quill is using, or the armour that the different Guardians wear. I doubt you'll be able to find new weapons in the game, but I may be wrong entirely, because that's stuff we haven't actually seen much of yet. The developers of the game have stated that they don't have any plans for DLC, and also the game will feature no microtransactions, which was a big thing in Marvel's Avengers, so thankfully it won't be in this game. But I'm wondering, if this game does well, will they consider making like a story DLC? And lastly, there are 3 different editions of the game. There is the standard edition that you just get the game and nothing else. Next there is the digital deluxe edition, which gets you the soundtrack of the game, 2 outfits for Star-Lord, and a mini art book for the game. Lastly there is the Cosmic Deluxe Edition, which gets you everything the digital deluxe edition gets you, but it also gets you a steelbook as well. But that's all I have for this video. If you've liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in another video.